So my name is Mqamelo, and I grew up in South Africa. I'm working with Grassroots Economics, and the focus is really on developing community currencies using these tools. So it's combining a really long lineage of research and work on alternative mediums of exchange and how communities, activists, NGOs, people interested in cooperative land ownership, how they use this for their own economic resilience at a hyperlocal level. I think the biggest challenge for me, and this includes both this fellowship project and just working in this space in general, is translation. So, if you're talking about tokenizing commitments on a blockchain using an ERC20 standard, how do you tell that to a group of people that might not have a high school education? How do you explain these concepts using things like analogies? And that's been one of the really powerful things. So for example, with community currencies and tokenizing commitments, we often use the analogy of vouchers. And we'll say things like, well, if you trust Starbucks with selling vouchers, what if you lived in a world where you could sell your own vouchers and you could pool them, and that could form the basis of a community currency? So it's a really good challenge because it forces us to think outside of the technical bubble that we can sometimes be in, and to think, how do I make this make sense for someone else? How do I frame this in terms of their problems, the things that they care about? Yeah, I think one that has been really cool to explore for me is just realizing how a lot of the indigenous practices around mutual aid they share a similar language. They share a similar pattern across the world. We have different names for them. In South Africa, we look at Stokvels, and even they have older roots. In Kenya, you have Mweria. In Latin America, you have Mingas. And when you start to analyze them, you start to see similar things. And so one of them is like gathering on a regular basis, sharing a meal, making agreements, dealing with conflict, dealing with tension, celebration often as well. And it's really cool to contrast that with sort of the interest in DAOs and coordination in this space, because I think that there's a lot to learn there. And it's why I describe it as like social architecture or pattern language. It works because it's been refined over time. And I think there's something really powerful when you combine that kind of technology with the tools that we have now.